friends, on this sunny and humid afternoon, you all are here. I am so glad. Highly appreciate that. I understand that none of us is sitting under the sun directly. We are perhaps in the most comfortable places, but still, to keep this commitment, it calls for dedication. And thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Before I dive into the topic, I would want to share with you few facts. And the first fact is, I'm not a researcher. So whatever research I had to do, it was only because of the PhD completion. Otherwise, by nature, I'm not a researcher, but I'm an avid reader. So what do? I read and I collect the information. And once that information is collected, I synthesize upon it to convert that information into knowledge. So Google Baba and the books, they give me a lot of information. But that information, when it is juiced properly, it becomes knowledge. So all I have tried to do in this session is I've tried to convert the information into some knowledge. And how did this concept of ECG, especially a shout out to ECG, came my way? I will not be able to give you any reference material per se, shout out to ECG, but it was all the contemplation that my neural pathways have gone through during this corona time. It is an era, of course, corona age, corona era that we all are living. So a lot of contemplation went into, a lot of neural contemplation rather went into this during this corona age. And uh, so henceforth, now I will humbly request you all to put down any kind of judgmental hats if you are wearing. Just concentrate on your breath, let yourself loose, immerse yourself into the conversation that we are going to have. Yes, I'm calling it a conversation because session will make it sound like something to be given, something to be taken. Let me call it a conversation because I would encourage each one of you to have those questions getting ticked in your brain while I'm sharing this content with you, this knowledge with you, which I synthesized after reading from various places. And why did I read? Why did I come to this particular topic? I will share the context to this topic also. So the context goes way back to March 2020. Till March first week, Corona for me was only Wuhan. I could have never thought. I was living in a blissfully ignorance life. I was very happy in that life that, oh, Corona can come to India? Not possible. We are very, हम तो लक्कड़ हजम पत्थर हजम देश हैं. So no, nothing can ever happen. And I'm sure while I'm saying this to you, many of you are retrospecting and many of you are in that frame that, oh yes, even I thought so. So yes, for me, Corona was only Wuhan. Forget about India, entering India. Forget about the adversity that we are facing. I couldn't have not even dreamt that it will enter India. So I was enjoying this denial phase. I was working carefree. I was accepting all the opportunities coming my way. I was traveling, etc., etc., to the extent that I even enjoyed a mini vacation. We went to Nal Dhera, and my friends were like, they were yelling at me that how can you even step out during this time? And I was still in my denial mode. Oh, nothing can happen, nothing can happen. And 21st of March, we were supposed to come back. 20th March, while we were enjoying the last buffet of our trip, we heard the resort manager reaching to each table and requesting each of us, please vacate the resort by tomorrow. Hospitality sector telling us to vacate the resort by tomorrow? Something serious. Government directive. Basis what? the corona fear. Oh, so does that mean corona has hit us so hard that the hospitality sector wants us to vacate? We were as it is to come back on 21st. But after this warning, after this request, call it whatever, from the resort manager, we had all our contemplations while we were on our way back, me and my husband. And we were just thinking, oh God, we played so many, we made so many short videos, funny videos with the sanitizer, with those infrared thermometers during this journey, thinking that nothing can happen, nothing is going to happen. And see what? Something that has not been witnessed by a person who is 70 years of age at present is being witnessed by people who are even alpha generation. So we had those kids in that in that restaurant who were very happy coming down from Mumbai for a 15 days break. They landed that very day, and got shock of life that you'll have to go back, arrange for your tickets whichever way, we don't care, you have to go back. That was certainly a shock. So I'm trying to build the context that why did this ECG and the shout out to ECG came to my mind. Seems the mockery we were trying to make of corona backfired, and not only onto us, the whole world. So sorry in case if we were responsible. That is only on the lighter note. Cut to, we returned to our place, and the next day the Janta curfew is announced. Things seem to be falling out of place suddenly. Now, something that we are so used to of going to work, being fearless, taking the opportunities, and the house, the maids, the domestic servants, not the servant, the domestic help coming to our place, doing all the kind of work, suddenly stopped, and it was like, oh, so for first few days it was fine. It appeared that everything will be okay because we have entered the lockdown pretty early, so everything is going to be okay. And it was a gala period for many of us. Remember those videos, all of us shared, today we cooked this and we cooked that. But the period did not last very long. The period of the gala period, the happy period, did not really last for very long, and suddenly the calls of distress started pouring in. And I, being a wellness coach, emotional wellness coach, began to receive calls from the corporates, from the universities, even from the standalone institutes, that please hold some quick sessions for people. They are getting into distress because there is a what if going on. What if this happens? What if this does not happen? What if the lockdown does not end, etc., etc. You know what? Just like you all, I also was in a turmoil state, in the state of negative emotions, negative emotional state to say. And whenever there was a call coming to me, I was just pondering in my mind, come on, let me get hang on my own mental state, my own emotional state, and then only I'll be able to do something for others. So here, all I did was that I did not lose the focus. And the focus was on these two things. Number one, what is it that if I practice on myself to calm myself down, I then will be able to help others. So came some answer, but how did that come to me? That also is a part of this journey, this session. And why is ECG very, very relevant? After setting the context, I'm sure now it will be more meaningful to all of you. Understand the working knowledge of ECG. How can each one of us sitting here, how can each one of us apply it onto ourselves? And once we have settled down our emotional state from negative emotional state to a positive emotional state, then only we'll be able to help others. Airborne rule, remember? Help yourself first and then help others. So this is precisely what happened. And my dear friends, the concept of ECG is being borrowed from the discipline of emotional intelligence. And EI is a game of perspectives. Your perspective, my perspective of all the 38 people in this session counts. It does count. Even if there is a slightest of variation, it does count. So what did I do is the journey now. I hope the context is set that what was the need for me to come up with some kind of an answer, because my profession demanded me to come up with some kind of a solution for myself, and then only I could practice it onto others. And here is what happened then. So this pandemic was making me listen, just like all of you. This pandemic was making me listen some words very, very frequently. And I'm sure you'll relate with these words like zap, as if nostalgia is taking you over. Now, unsettled, disrupted, worried, helpless, hopeless, sad, lost, and the list is endless. And there is no single word which is giving you pleasant emotions. That was my state also. This pandemic was making us listen to so many things. And not just this, cherry on the cake was work from home. Work from home was actually work for home. So 9 to 5 became almost like 8 to 8. And what are we doing? We don't know. How are we managing it? We really don't know. The domestic help missing. Still, we all are rushing from here to there. I'm not being gender biased here. All of us have faced the challenge, are facing the ordeal in one or the other way even now. And social distancing, which meant, buddy, you will not come to my house, buddy, I will not come to your house, buddy, we'll not meet anywhere. So buddy, what we'll do? We'll be sitting with our own family 24/7 in the same area, listening to all these negative words, and happening what? Happening so much of a turmoil. So here I pondered my knowledge of EI and I said, can I have a focused question? Can I ask a focused question to the discipline of emotional intelligence? And the answer was yes. Why did I want to ask the question? Because I wanted a solution. So the question was, what must I practice with focus so as to experience a positive emotional state despite these odds? I'll request each one of you to read it for yourself. The same question, please read it for yourself, that what must I practice with focus to experience a positive emotional state despite these odds? And the answer came out to be empathy, compassion, gratitude. So do I need to read those books? I said, no, I don't need to read those books. Let me get a gist of everything. And what was the gist? The gist started with empathy. My friends, can you relate with these words here? Anger, frustration, joy, sadness, thrill. Frustration is repeated. See? Acceptance, denial, rejection. These were the emotions that each one of us was going through day in and day out in different proportion at different times. None of us wanted to give up. None of us wanted to tag ourselves as the people who cannot be agile, who are not adaptable. We all wanted to sail through. We all want to sail through. But the problem was emotional state was acting as a hindrance, and whoever you talk to over phone or within the family, whoever you talk to, the emotions will be more or less more towards the unpleasant part. What to do now? Can you please pay attention to the picture of empathy here? This picture says understand the other person's thoughts, understand what the other person needs, understand what he's feeling, how he is feeling. The problem was, it was such a new thing for all of us that I did not know what are you feeling, you did not know what am I feeling. So simply by saying, oh, I understand what you feel, it appeared so empty, it appeared so fake. So I pondered a little more and I said, okay, empathy has to be practiced, fine, but what is the secret ingredient of empathy that I can practice on myself to understand the new me? Because the normal is going to change. So I asked myself few questions on 3 levels, because empathy works on 3 levels. Number 1, I understand that Anju is undergoing some turmoil. Number two, the second level, I understand how you feel. So Anju understands Anju, and Anju understands that Anju is feeling a little lost, maybe sad, maybe sometimes frustrated. Okay, will that answer everything? No. Because the third level of empathy, which says, I understand how you feel, and this is what I can do. How will I ever tell you that how can I do? Because it is everything is new for all of us, for you, for me. So if a call comes to me for some kind of a distress help, I was like, what to do? Because I also do not know what are they feeling right now. And came an answer to me that if I have to understand people, I will have to be curious. I will have to be curious first. Curious? What does it mean? I will have to practice humility, which means I will not only stop at saying, I understand what you feel, because that is so empty. I will rather say, tell me more. Tell me more. What is it that you are feeling? I would rather say that, tell me more. How do you want to feel? Tell me more. What are your resources? Tell me more, boy, where are you stuck? And if I practice this humility onto myself, then only I'll be able to practice it onto other, which means, so Anju has been a go-getter, so has Padma Shri been, so has Dr. Ravikant been, so has Akshay been, but this is a new time. We are losing something. I'm not feeling so good. Can I accept that? Can I openly ask this question to myself that, Anju, how are you feeling today? And Anju says, I'm feeling a little lost. I need some help. I need somebody to talk to me. I need somebody to guide me. Have I accepted that? If yes, then the secret ingredient of empathy is known to me now. That is, I am being curious to my own feelings. I have humility towards my own feelings. So the old me is not passing on any baggage of my traits, of my accomplishments to the new me. The new me has accepted that the normal is changing. And since the normal is changing, so my resources may not be sufficient. So what do? I could not get an answer just with empathy here. So what do? I can do this, but what am I actually going to do? Henceforth, I had to move a step ahead. And I said, let me check, let me shake hands with compassion also. Till empathy, I have understood that I have to be open to myself. I have to be open. I have to have that humility to understand what is it I'm feeling. Because till the time I do not accept what I am feeling, I will not be able to practice it on anyone else being a coach. Still, the answer did not come to me completely, that how can I change my negative emotional weather to positive emotional weather. So I said, let me move ahead and shake hands with compassion. And compassion is, and okay, so this is one slide I thought I have deleted, but no, that's for all our good. How can we build humility? I'll come to compassion a little later. Oh yes, so how can we build humility? That's very interesting. I can build humility, I can develop humility within myself if I have emotional literacy. Now, what does this mean? Simply by saying, I'm good, I'm bad, I'm okay, I'm not okay, I'm happy, I'm sad, I cannot build on humility, because humility is being curious. You remember a child, while he's pouring water here to there, and as an adult, we feel, oh God, what is he even watching? What is he observing? He's simply picking up a glass of water, pouring it there, spilling a lot of it, and I have to clean it. But the child is very curious and he is learning, okay, what should be my speed of pouring? He is learning on what level, on what angle should I tilt this glass? He is learning that how much should I bend my elbow, because he is curious, because he has that humility. So in this case of learning empathy, because humility is so important, Hence, emotional literacy is important. Come on, all of you, please try this with me. In the chat box, please write just a 3-word sentence, and this 3-word sentence should say I, nothing doing with you or we or they. I as a subject, I feel whatever. Just chat, give me in the chat box. I feel, and whatever you are feeling right now, give me that in the chat box. 3 letters, 3 words sentence, that's it. I feel whatever. No problem. Even if you are bored, write it down. No worries. The idea is to become more literate. I feel relaxed, Sanjeev. Thank you. Padmashri, I feel glad. Shireen, I feel anxious. All right. Happy, sleepy. All right, Rashmi. Keep moving, keep moving. Relaxed. Don't copy. Gratitude, curious, great. Keep moving. A few more, a few more. Okay, curious being copied. Jia, Niti, all right. Wanting, learning, confident, great. Great. I'm minimizing the chat window, and thank you so much for all your responses. Now you see, had I not asked you that please give me I feel whatever, and had I not given you that trigger, answers would have been good, I feel good, I'm okay, okay, good, and a few more action words, like if your state, if your physical state is a little tired, because I understand the time 2:30 is not a very happy time, but the bandwidth works the best during this time, and that is how the time was chosen. Increase your emotional literacy. Every hour, check with yourself. What are you feeling? How are you feeling? I feel. Every hour, check with yourself, and you know what? You'll have a database of your feelings throughout the day. We have a lot of work in EI, but for now, I'm sticking my conversation to ECGE. So empathy requires humility. Humility can be built with simple building emotional literacy. And to build emotional literacy, all you have to do is every hour check with yourself, I feel, fill in the blank, as if it is a 1-mark question. Towards the end of the day, mark yourself. How many marks do you give? If you repeat everything, if you repeat the same thing again and again, give a negative to yourself also. Accept that you are not being literate for yourself. Moving ahead, that was about empathy, but I did not get my answer. I told you, right? I did not get my full answer, so I joined hands with compassion. And I said, okay, let me see how can compassion help me. While I was going through various definitions of compassions, I have a kunji. I was preparing notes since long back, I have a kunji. So while I was going through certain definitions, I came across this newest, to my eyes, it was the latest definition by Paul Gilbert given in 2017, that compassion is sensitivity to suffering in self and others. So for now, even this other is me, new me, because I am struggling for myself right now. With a commitment, that's very important. With a commitment to try and alleviate and prevent it. So what is compassion? My sensitivity towards whatever I'm feeling, but alongside I need to have a commitment that I will reduce this pain. Whatever I'm going through, whatever is my suffering, I will come up with some action. I will not stop at I can do this, because can is just my capability. Can does not mean I've done it. It requires will. So compassion says have an action plan and I will do this. So compassion is always in now. Compassion is never like, okay, I'll do this a year later. I'm very, very compassionate. No, compassion is in the moment. With empathy, I got to know that what can I do? I can be open to myself. I can ask questions to myself. I can be emotionally literate. And with compassion, I got to know that I will do this should be my next step. So I decided that I will not think of what if. I will only think of what can I do with the people who are reaching out to me. So this can was my action plan. in will. Yeah, don't catch me there. Huh? I know there are smart people sitting who will say, Abhi to will bola and then can. This can is within the will. So my compassion was that I will not think of any what if from now on. I will only think of this is what I can offer to people who are reaching out to me. And believe you me, this gave me a very settling feeling that I still have some resources. And you know what? There is some kind of a mantra that I'll give you about compassion, and you will realize that doing nothing also is compassion. Strange, no? But yes, it is. Anyways, so a few questions that you may simply ask yourself while you're trying to build on your compassion. After you have built on your humility, you can ask yourself, who do you need compassion for at the moment? My answer is for yourself first. The airborne rule. Never forget that. That's very important. So simple step-by-step procedure. Number one, formulate a behavior goal. Now, what is it that I want to build compassion for? Because compassion is you are no more than thinking about what if. You are only thinking about I will do this. So you need to have a goal. So what is your behavior goal? My behavior goal that time became to customize my offerings in a manner that they start making most sense to people who are reaching out to me. I could not have given those 8 hours long trainings. I could not have engaged them through the activities which we used to have under that roof. So I had to customize. I started working on that. So I formulated a behavioral goal for myself. Every day I will ask myself that did I reach my behavioral goal? Did I move a little in my behavioral goal from yesterday? If the answer was no, I will add on to my action plan that even the yesterday's carry forward has to be done today. So there was no what if happening. There was no what if happening now. It was only I will. Then third, I will every day map my action oriented behavior with the goal that I displayed today. So it may so happen that my action today was little lazy. I did not do anything. I will accept that also. Okay, I did not do anything on 30 on let's say 29th of May. I did not do anything. Fine, but did I not do anything because I was contemplating a what if? If yes, then I need to go back to empathy. But if there was no what if, that means purely compassion is what I have started following. Yes, I was lazy. Let me accept that. Let me carry forward my work. So every day this mapping will happen. This has to happen every day. And ultimately, I also have to chalk out if there were any poor choices that I made today. Maybe I chose a wrong time of the day to work on my goal. I could not because there were n number of other things to be handled that time. I should not curse myself. I should not be blaming myself then. Compassion does not mean that get overwhelmed with the situation. Compassion means take a pause and then work on your action plan. No what if, no overwhelming. And then the fifth step here is, what will I do to alleviate the effect which was because of my poor actions? I chose the wrong timing of the day. I will change the timing of the day. Let me see which is my peak performance period in the day if I have not worked it ever. So for now, I joined hands with compassion. Yes, I could come up with my action plan that I will have to make some customized things for the people, the university people, the institute people, the coaching people, the coaches, and the corporates. And I will have to give them some micro bites which can make the most sense to them in that kind of a time period. So I had my plan. I knew my actions. I was working on my actions, and the emotional state from the negative was turning to positive because I was occupied with the work. I was not occupied with the what if. And then what happened? I realized that whenever I'm losing my way, to practice compassion, I can practice these 3 steps. Number 1, serenity, which means I will not get overwhelmed. The moment I ever felt that I was getting bugged up by calls or maybe the work that I have said yes to, I will rework on my schedule. I will I will postpone certain things also, because the idea was not to fill my plate unnecessarily. The idea was to be of some sense to people who are reaching out to me. Serenity. And it was whenever I was losing my control on compassion. So serenity was the first step. Second, courage. I will accept that even I am vulnerable. I'm no priest, I'm no saint. Even I am vulnerable, despite the fact that my profession is that of a coach. My coaching presence has to be strong, my emotional intelligence has to be in the forefront. I will still need courage, because I must accept that even I am vulnerable. And you know what? The moment you accept whatever is your weakness, whatever is your area of improvement, and you tell it to yourself that yes, it is the way it is, fear reduces. Fear as an emotion plays trick with your brain. The moment you address the trigger of it, fear reduces. So I say practice courage as the second step whenever you are losing the track to compassion. And third, very, very important, very, very important. And chess as a game has validated this wisdom step lot many times. It is only the pawns who, when move ahead, they don't come back. But the elite class, they move ahead and they don't mind coming back, because when they're coming back, when they're stepping back, or when they're doing nothing, they're planning. They're not giving up. So when a horse moves back, does not mean the horse has given up. The horse is only moving back to take the view of the situation, and he's doing nothing for some time. For some moves, the horse is not even moving. Fine. And that's the wisdom. So compassion does not mean getting overwhelmed. Compassion does not mean not accepting that I also am vulnerable. Compassion does not mean that I cannot stop or I cannot choose to do nothing. Compassion means be action oriented without getting overwhelmed, even after accepting that you are vulnerable, and with a wisdom that even if I don't do something, I have not yet lost it. So chess is one example, battleground is another example. The doctors, till the time there is no vaccine, they cannot simply keep filling us with one or the other random vaccine on the name of experimenting. So compassion is the wisdom part is being played there also. Empathy, that requires humility, and humility can be built with emotional literacy. Emotional literacy can easily be practiced with I feel whatever, as many hours of the day you are awake. Number 2, compassion. Compassion is one level up of empathy, which says I will not stop at what I can do. I will rather have my action plan, what I will do in case I'm losing my track to compassion. I will make use of these 3 warriors, that is serenity, courage, and wisdom. I got my answer. I got my answer to manage that emotional weather. And when I got my answer, I said, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to all those who have written beautiful articles where I could read certain things. I'm grateful to those guides who made me write down these notes. And I'm grateful to the neurons which were contemplating every moment, which were forming the pathways every moment. And finally, I could come up with a shout out to myself that Anju, if you can give a shout out, if you can give a credit to the ECG, you will be able to manage your emotional state from negative to positive, and then only you will be able to handle and help the people who are reaching out to you in the capacity of a coach, in the capacity of a trainer. The gratitude's secret ingredient is Do not say, I feel relaxed, I'm grateful. Do not say, I feel happy, I'm grateful. Please let the gratitude be oriented to the stimulus because of which you are feeling it. So instead of saying, you are so helpful, instead of saying, I feel so relieved, say, you are so helpful. And you know what will happen? It will release happy hormones in both of you. Dopamine in you because you are in your blissful state now, and oxytocin in the other person because you have just given a pat at his back, almost maintaining the social distance, of course. And it will result in the timely self-expression. Gratitude requires the right timing. If you are not grateful, if you are not expressing that gratitude at the right time, or at least within the time frame, then the gratitude will perhaps lose its importance, and those hormones also will not release in you and the other. So why not as well have that timely self-expression for better relation? And that was the reason I coined the term ECG. A shout out to ECG because it helped me to move my negative emotional state to positive emotional state. Yes, I did come across a neutral time period wherein I was unfreezing, I was unlearning everything that was disturbing me. I was learning something that was making more sense to me, like customizing things, coming up with those microbytes. Not only that, changing the pace of the presentation, changing the pace of my delivery, how to engage them, what should be the topics, because now the topics could not be the same. Having said that, I rest my case here. I rest my shout out to ECG, and I am opening the chat window for all of you. Please take 2-3 minutes and give me your message that you think this ECG can help you change or move your emotional state from negative to positive, and if yes, how? Because there is just one more thing that I would like to discuss. But before that, I would really want to see your expressions. How do you relate to ECG now? Take your time, 2-3 minutes. I'm opening the chat window only to read the chats. Okay, Padmashri says, wow. Ashwin says, ECG can make me feel better in the current scenario. Certainly. Padmashri says, I'm grateful to all the people who contributed to me anytime in my life. I learned ECG from people in my life. Of course, yes. All we have to be is just a little observant. And if we start paying gratitude to each one of them, nothing can actually beat that feeling, the calm feeling, not getting overwhelmed. Wow. So Jagrati says ECG will help to understand my co-workers. Absolutely, yes. Yes, Sanjeev, you're right. ECG helps to take control. Padmashri says, I'm not learning from you. So grateful. Okay, I'm now learning from you. All right, that's okay, Padmashri. That's okay. That's okay. I understand that. Rachna, practicing ECG makes you happy person. Yes, it does. It does. ECG will help to understand peers and makes me positive.
क्या बोल रहे हो?
Alina, Anju, how
हाँ
impactful.
बहुत अच्छी
Okay.
ब्राइट
So
है ये
Alina has
इनफैक्ट
a question. Lena says, hi Anju, how impactful being in gratitude towards energy I receive from universal force. Yes, sun and earth. Seriously, let's be grateful to that. I learned that moving my negative emotional state to positive emotional state wasn't as difficult as I thought it to be. Even today the future is uncertain, but I am in control of my emotional state. How? With the shout out to ECG. So great. I'm so happy. Bharat says ECG can help me to understand me, my state, making myself from negative feeling to positive state of mind. Of course, yes. So I'm closing down the chat window to bring you to the last slide. This slide words appear so cliche now. So I'm just bringing you to the last monologue that I would like to raise or discuss here, and then we open the question answers thing. So Roper root. A few of you who are from my EI batch are very well aware of this Roper root. But for those of you who are who I'm meeting for the first time, so whenever you feel that your emotions are taking over you, whenever you have that sense that your amygdala is getting hijacked, that is, your emotions are taking over you so much so that your reaction is disproportionate to the stimulus that has happened, please consciously follow this Roper route. And the Roper route says, recognize what is your emotion in the moment. That of being sad, that of being cheated, that of being disgusted, that of being fearful, whatever. Recognize, acknowledge and accept that yes, there is some reason because of which you are feeling it, and even if there is no reason, the emotion is existing. So acknowledge and accept that. Understand. Now what do you mean by understand? In understanding the emotion, you will have to work towards the trigger because of which this emotion is occurring in you. That can be a thought, that can be a person, that can be a stimulus, that can be anything. So understand what is it and why is it troubling you that much. Once you have understood the genesis of your emotion, the trigger of your emotion, take a pause. Now this pause can be for few seconds, this pause can be for a minute, can be for a day, and you can simply say, I'm not going to think about it at all. No, it is something like चाबी गुम जाती है तो हम कहते हैं ना ज्यादा मत ढूंढो, leave it there, थोड़ी देर में मिल जाएगी. और something that you are maths का जब question solve नहीं होता था तो नहीं बाद में देख लेंगे, थोड़ी देर बात करेंगे. Let the mind be fresh. So take a pause for as long as you want and as long as you can afford to take a pause. Evaluate. What did you do that you can improve upon now? What did you do or not do? Both the things. What did you do or what did you not do that you can improve upon now? Once you have evaluated, once the map of a ROPE is ready, now give that response. How will you respond to the situation now? Roper route not only helps us to save from amygdala hijack. Amygdala hijack is basically the hijack of the part of the brain which is responsible, the limbic system, which is responsible for generating the emotions. It gets hijacked. The amygdala gets hijacked because you reacted so fast, you did not give any time between the stimulus and the reaction. So it is like the two cars are moving bumper to bumper, and this car applies brake, and this car suddenly touches because there was no gap. To give a gap between the stimulus and the response, so that the response comes after thinking and response does not come before thinking. Anything before thinking is reaction. After thinking is what you respond, because then you have already evaluated the pros and cons. On this note, my dear friends, my shout out to ECG has completed. I started off with the context and I conclude my discussion or my conversation on the shout out to ECG with a very powerful rule, the route I would say, that is Roper route. Whenever you are in trouble, whenever you think that things are not happening, you sense that emotions are taking over you, please take this Roper route. And in extreme cases, if this Roper route is not working with a solo you, please get a sounding board, that is, talk to someone, ask the person questions, ask the person to listen to you, let him be a sounding board. On this note, I take a bow. Thank you so much. So the chat window opens up again, and please feel free to ask questions. Rachna, one query: what is the causal relationship between emotional intelligence and well-being. Okay. See, emotion is the functional unit. Whatever I am today is because of my emotions. If my emotion is that of happiness, if my emotion is pleasant, then my wellness state will be positive. That's a very simple root, a very simple correlation. I don't have any numbers to back it up, but my understanding says if I have happy hormones, that is dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphin, then my cortisol is already low. And if my cortisol is low, my dose is high. I am in a blissful state. If I am in a blissful state, I am well, because my mind and body are part of the same system. Any of the two is affected, I am affected. Lena has a question. Can we give ECG by practicing healing techniques like Reiki? I have no idea. Reiki is not my area. I have no idea. Never been. I've never been exposed to it. So, how forgiveness, letting go plays role in ECG? It plays a major role. It plays a major role. Why? Because when you are carrying the baggage, when you are carrying the baggage for your for yourself, the baggage is actually not for the person. It is actually for yourself. The more you carry baggage, less pleasant you will be. It is like holding a glass of water. For how long do you hold will decide the stress in your hand, not how heavy it is, but how long it. So it is not only how heavy it is also how long. The heaviness of the glass and longness, the duration, both of them will decide. So yes, forgiveness does play a great role in being happy. Gratitude can always help you in being happy. Okay, Honey has a, to what extent we can consider following our personality type, like those from 16 personality type by Myers and Briggs. So the question isn't very clear to me. Honey, I will request you to paraphrase your question if possible, and how are you relating it to the context today? Please do that for me, Honey. I'll wait for that. And meanwhile, I'm waiting for the other questions. Akshay, any question that I missed so far?
Ji ma'am,
Haan
I've
ji, go ahead.
shared it with you on personal message in the chat.
So this is what I have read about the Reiki. So Lena also shared the question. That's the same question, Akshay?
Yeah, just a second.
Sure.
There were a couple more. Ma'am. Just a second.
No problem.
So I believe this was Dr. Ravikant who asked. For 15 years, students are conditioned
Oh
in
yes.
STEM subjects, and how can ECG be placed at top of mind awareness? So what are the ways to sort of bring it up,
Right.
such that that's what I'm paraphrasing, of course, from the question.
Sure.
What is the best way that it can be brought to the top? Ji?
Right. Dr. Ravikant, EI, I mean, only for the information, EI as a subject is getting introduced in many schools and colleges now. If you can recall, the the happiness curriculum introduced in the government schools by Manish Sisodia a few years back, laid the foundation for introducing EI in many of the schools. Sadly, this is little unfortunate, because I also come from the education. I mean, I have been a resource person in the education sector for quite a time, and little unfortunate that owing to the shortage, at least on the pretext of shortage of number of hours, schools are not very comfortably taking up the courses EI. Though the plans, there are few schools which are not CBSE, sadly, because most of these schools are CBSE in India. But the schools which are not CBSE have been easily able to inculcate this. Now, answering your question very directly, 15 years of STEM, how can ECG come on top of mind? It can only come on top of mind by giving equal leverage to ECG right from the starting of the study curriculum. But somehow the corporates, at least, I'm not talking about the entrepreneurs, but I'm talking about the corporates have been kind enough, especially from the IT sector, even the pharma sector, I would say, that they have been kind enough to understand the requirement, the need of the hour, and through coaching they are trying to introduce it. If not a complete training on AI, This is what I have gathered the temperature of corporate so far. So I mean this is the only answer I have right now. क्योंकि 15 years वाली चीज को आप eradicate नहीं कर सकते. We can only try and compensate it. How? Now whatever is the stage, let us introduce EI. Akshay, does that answer the question? I have two more messages to read.
I don't think so.
Yep. Okay. Lena has one more question. At practical level, can we engage ourselves in soul duties, daily chores to let go and be in gratitude? Lena, certainly yes, but not to 100% every day. It will be, I mean, since I have not been able to do it 100% every day, so it will be fake on my part to preach you the same. But if the narrative that I keep playing in my head is I have to be more constructive by paying attention to something that is that requires my undivided attention, I am at least in a better space. I am in a much better space than taking up those silly baggages. I keep reminding this to myself. Let the narrative be constructive work. Yes, Padma Shri, you are raising hand.
Yeah, this I'm very I love the word gratitude. So one way to actually do this every day is to have a gratitude journal. You do it, maybe probably sleep with having listed down 5 things that you're grateful for the day. And such a simple thing. I actually used to do 10 during the lockdown. And I used to share it with some friends. So three or four of us would like, okay, you send it to me, I'll send it to you. So we would actually do that, and it would keep us really sleep with so many grateful things. And what you count is what you get. So when I count gratitude and what things I'm grateful for, I'm going to get more of it. So that is one way you can actually do it every day. Very simple way.
Absolutely. The book that reminds me of the book by Option B by Sheryl Sandberg. When she lost her husband, she said that I'm grateful that I did not lose my child. My child was not there in that on that spot. So yes, it is.
In fact, to add there, in fact, I also went into that gratitude. I lost my child some years back. She was 8 years. So, but I have a son. But also, I can say I'm grateful I have a son still. She left, but then I'm still grateful to have my son back with me. So that's something that you can
salute, Padma Shri.
Thanks. So that's something that even in that everyday life, I don't think we have that big tragedies happening. But there are so many good things that we can see around us, and we can make a practice of seeing good things around us. Gratitude journal is one that could certainly help.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Bharat, say a name of the book. That is Option B by Sheryl Sandberg.
Also, Doctor, you can mention Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. Gratitude is wonderfully mentioned.
Oh, yes. I'm yet to read that book. Thank you so much for reminding me. So, yes, there is some question around personality. Rachna says personality is the robust indicator of emotional intelligence. This is my understanding. Am I correct? Please throw some light on that. All right. So, Rachna, whoever we are, whatever we are mixture of 3 things. We are sum total of 3 things: personality, IQ, EQ. So if we combine the 3, this is the sum total of who I am. Personality certainly affects the emotions to a great deal, because somebody who is a dominant personality, the DISC or the MBTI, if you say, very extrovert, somebody who is a dominant personality, he would not get overwhelmed by you cribbing or crying because of what he did to you, and when he practices authority. Whereas somebody who is low on dominance will have the emotion that, oh, I did something wrong to the person, and so the first person who is dominant, the same stimulus will not affect him with the guilt, will not lead any emotion of guilt or sorrow or sadness in him. He would accept it. That will be the emotion. Okay, happens, so that's all right. Whereas the second person who is low on dominance will say that, oh, I am guilty of it. I feel sad about it. So yes, certainly your personality type does affect your emotions. And here I would like to draw your attention to one thing. Emotions are universal in nature. the feelings, that is the mental, the mental association that we give to those emotions are subjective. So the same stimulus, I may behave in a certain different manner because emotion might be the same. Emotion can be the same, but the mental association I'm giving to it can be very, very different, and hence my behavior can be different. Okay, so Rajiv has a question. Is there any percentage of ECG to be inducted in life? For sure, no one can be fully emotional. Absolutely, Rajiv ji, that's what I said. I have not been able to practice it 100% every day, so I will not preach it that way. But whatever little I have been able to practice it, it gives me calmness. It gives me that. It gives me that courage to move from the negative emotional state to the positive emotional state and concentrate on what is constructive for me. So, a percentage, no, I will not get into any numbers. I'm afraid of maths. I told you that. Huh? Anyways, Lena, thank you so much, Lena. Great, fantastic, Lena. That is, as Padma Shri rightly said, great realization. Good.
Can
Thank
I
you,
add
Raj.
something, Doctor? Can I add
Yes, why
something?
not?
Because I'm
Yes,
actually
please.
doing my PhD in emotional intelligence, and I'm working with
Oh,
teachers and children only. I'll be because now it's a lockdown, so I need to prepare for all that. So in my view, the question that he asked about personality, in my view, as I'm studying emotional intelligence is to do with realization, regulation, understanding, and using those emotions for social benefits. That is what is emotional intelligence. Like you said, it's all about emotions, and all of us have, whichever personality type you are, you have emotions. So I somehow feel bringing in personality into emotional intelligence is not a great thing to do. It's actually discounts a lot of emotional intelligence when you bring in a personality level. So I wouldn't recommend to bring that word personality into emotional intelligence. That is one thing. Second,
so
regarding the percentage of ECG,
mhm.
I would certainly say from my experience, the more ECG I have, the more happy I am. And so I would certainly take it as a part of my journey till I die, and just keep on growing. There's no end to it at all. It's a never rest.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. Fantastic, yeah. Good, good, good. Anything else, Akshay?
That's it with the questions, Dr. Chavla. But I just wanted to take this moment to thank you. I mean, and I think the sort of the audience of between 35 to 40 people that we had consistently throughout must have definitely enjoyed everything. If I may say, each and every point that you raised, they were extremely pertinent. So thank you for your time so much, Dr. Chavla.
Thank
My
you so
pleasure.
much.
And thank you so much, each one of you, for taking out this time and staying with us for a complete hour. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anju. I'm really inspired by the way you postmortem the whole thing. It's just, I mean, you went back 2 months back and you did this whole thing. And you put it in a very structured manner. That's not possible for everyone. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thanks a ton. Bye bye.